Hey everybody, it's your Sam, and I have another video here for you today. I am doing a little bit something different. I have been recording my dad's stories for a little while now, and I've actually done a couple of recordings throughout the years, and this is one of the recordings that I've done, and I thought I would share it with you because dad's stories were always part of my life, and they are part of the reason why I am a writer, a storyteller today. On top of that was the fact that, mom was an avid reader, and the writerly love tag kind of made me realize that. And why kind of sit on these stories and not really share them when I have this YouTube channel here. Granted, my recordings were mostly just for me and my family to share, but I thought, why not? I want to kind of share little snippets here and there. And today I have two stories about dad's bulldog that they had while growing up. This is back in the day. This is back around the 50s. During that time where dad grew up, there were a pack of wild dogs kind of terrorizing the neighborhood. Nobody could have small dogs around or any small animals. They would even chase children and adults too. My grandpa Roy got really worried and he bought Sarge. Sarge is he was a massive dog. He was an American bulldog from what I can gather. Dad says he's an English bulldog because he had the bowed legs and the huge head. Maybe he was a mixture, or maybe he was an English bulldog, and the breeding nowadays has made English bulldogs a lot smaller than what Sarge was. Grandpa Roy bought Sarge to protect his family. And these are a couple of the little stories that Dad tells about Sarge. And it shows how highly trained Sarge was and how dangerous Sarge was, but how good the dog was too. So I hope you enjoy this little snippet. Enjoy.
So he was some old dog. And the herds out there, they had a Rodney was his name, their youngest. He was same age as Hugo, I guess, Hugo's he was up like this, like that. And Fred and I was with out there when they was talking like that. And he asked Daddy like that, he says, hey, that son of mine, that youngest son like that, sure would like to have a puppy, said, but I know this would be disheartening. Because as soon as we get it, this one here's gonna kill it, and you know how to obey Mr. Carter out. He said, if that boy wants a dog, he says, you bring him a pup home. But you don't let that pup out or nothing till I come in, and when you see me home, you come out and tell me like that. And says, meet me down here in the flat. Said, I'll bring the bulldog, you bring the pup. Fred said, yeah, he couldn't figure out what's going on, And I went with him because I figured, he'd jump on the pup, and walked down there and flat, and Daddy did, and I'd stand there like that, an old Sarge here like that, standing up, And Daddy said, sit, Sarge, and he'd sit down, and he looked over at Fred like that, Mr. Hurts, he said, put the puppy on the ground. And he set the little pup down. He wasn't that big,
Mm-hmm.
And he was a woolly herd, and he was some kind of shepherd,
Mm-hmm.
And one of the little pup just walked up, started like that, And Daddy just reached down and got a hold of his collar with one finger on the cat. And he pulled his cap off and smacked that bulldog on the head, and pow, just like that, See that pup, Sarge? You leave it alone. Smacked him again with that cap. That bulldog never did bother that dog. And as it growed up, he'd be down there in the flat, and here come that pup in the house. Yeah. And he just run into that bulldog, and put his teeth in the neck, swing around, grab his ears. Old bulldog just turned and looked around. And I just, work. It never did happen. He never did bother. That's all it took. He was trained. We had a Spitz, you know, it was just a fuzzball, like that, you know. And we was gonna give it to the queens that had the other house ran down there. And they was gonna take it up to the grandmothers and give it to her like that, and they could go up and play with it, you know. We said we can't keep the bulldog in it. And we had the bulldog tied up in the barn. It was on Saturday. Daddy's home. We was eating dinner, and he told Fred like that to turn the Spitz loose in the garage there. That go up the barn and bring the bulldog down and tie that tree there. There's a tree right there beside the garage. Like it said, tie that tree with that long chain, that cow chain. Fred said, turn the Spitz loose. Said you kill it. That's nasty. That Spitz be scared of. You don't even get close. Just keep the bulldog on the chain, they can get used to the place while we're here. And Fred went up there and got the bulldog and tied him at and turned the Spitz loose. And he was off. And the little Spitz come up and went to grab him and that bulldog just nailed it. And Fred was kicking that bulldog in the nose, you know, with his boots on him like that. And the blood was flying out of the bulldog's nose. And he didn't turn loose, nothing like that. And I run in there and grabbed Daddy. I said, "Define him, Daddy." He just jumped up on the table and run out there, jumped straddled him, and choked that bulldog and turned him loose. And that sucker coughed up a ball of hair, looked like a softball on a baseball. And I got the little spit like that, and his neck was shaved clean. Damn, wow. Daddy told Fred, "You can't beat the dog off of a dog." He said, "You got to choke him off." Said he was trained to kill or die. And he was mischief, you know. He'd do stuff, you know, crazy like that. There was a Western something on TV. And I said, "Yeah, it's feeding time." And I was interested in that thing, and the commercial come on. I run out the back door, grab that slop bucket, run all the way to the barn, I come back down, and I seen Sarge's head and his shoulder was just right at the corner of the garage, just like that right there, you know. I didn't think nothing about it. That's all right. He was watching to see where I went and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I come down through there like that and just cut the corner like that, you know. He just stepped out. Someone hit me about right there, you know, like that. And I just went over him and scooted down the driveway, slop bucket, you know, still hanging in my arm. I was skint, golly done. And he's just standing there and just, his old lips stuck out, you know, like he's sniggering. Oh, that pissed me off.
He was laughing. I got you that time.
Yeah, it's just what it seemed like. Well, he hadn't moved. Well, he just watching me slide. That was easy.
So those are 3 Sarge stories that I grew up listening to with Dad. And of course, the picture that I'm showing is not Sarge, but it is the brindle coloring that Sarge was. He did have 2 white front legs, black ears, and yeah, he was a beast. Anyway, I do apologize for the laughter that is in between. I kind of have to sneak some of these recordings so that Dad will be more natural when he tells these stories. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to hear some more Dad stories. He has a ton of them. Thank you for watching. Thank you for amusing me with this. And I hope that y'all found some enjoyment out of these stories and a little look into the past. The past of the mountain life in the 50s. Be kind to one another. Stay safe. Keep riding and keep being creative. And I will see you next time.